Okay guys, we're going to be reviewing some of the drills that we've done throughout the program for the Haymaker defense. And we're also going to be introducing some new things that we haven't seen yet, right? So this is kind of like what we're talking about with our warm-ups. We want them to build into what we're doing, right? That way it's just like, okay, yeah, we're fitting in like that. We're doing this, right? These are what we call ball and chain drills, right? This is going to be my ball and chain, the belt, right? And I'm going to swing it at you either horizontally or figure eight, okay? That's what we've seen in the past, and we've also seen where I go like this. Or I go like this. No matter what I do, I'm susceptible to being clinched, okay? Distance, right, good. So that's our distance. We have to be able to find it and maintain it. Okay, now when I swing this belt at Micah, we're gonna work one than the other. He's either gonna come in and clinch me. We're not gonna be super specific until we get a little into some of the other defenses. So just grab me, anything will do. We'll do some specifics in a second, okay? Or after I swing, okay? So before I swing, will be then. Okay, so when you see me do that, what you've got to do is here, okay? If you're wanting to go in for a body lock, let's remember to do that like guillotine prevention, right? So, and then it's after I miss, you see, like, boom, you see my shoulder like that? Close distance coming, okay? So, that's gonna be what we're doing. Let's start off with, as soon as you see me rear back, you close distance and clinch. I've used this to clinch personally in training, sparring. I've also been able to punch somebody before in a boxing ring, like we're sparring. So people telegraph in that way, even though it's a context, like, oh, sparring a boxer, right? You can come back, okay? You have the time to close that distance. So move forward just our distance, there we go. Good. Back. Your distance. Good. As soon as you see me move. Now, see how this is incidental, but I was kind of wedging against you, does this like, but you kind of pinned me there. If that happens, right? Come in on me one more time. If that happens, come over here and you can peel that in out as you come in, right? So if I come in and you're kind of blocking here, wedging against, look what I can do. I swing that elbow through. So anytime I'm coming in, put your hands up like this, and I want the clinches, and I want to get on the inside, here, right? Here. That's just so it's a simple thing. We always use it, okay? Good, yeah, swing it under. Yep, there you go. There's that crook of my elbow where you'll find this space. All right, don't elbow me in the face on accident. Accident, all right? Again, check your distance. Oh, I like that. I like that. Good. Okay, now let's do some after I swing and miss, and we'll do some moving around. Okay? There's a little bit of delay. As soon as it passes you, I want you to start coming in. Like as soon as it swings past the center line, that's all you. Here's why too. If you're late, watch what can happen. Come in. Boom. Now, likelihood, if somebody throws that hard, they'll probably be off balance. But I've seen that happen in UFC fight a couple of times, right? Once with an elbow, once with a back fist. So somebody swings really big and you're late and they see you're coming in, and whop, they can come back. So I would rather you come not early, on time. It's right when I pass your spine, right? So like, right, not now, not now, not now, not now, not now, not now. Now, boom. Look, I'm not gonna be able to rebound off that timing. Very good. Okay. Yeah. You had my back. You know, I know I kind of came under, but you had my back. It was good. Good. So you got a body lock over both arms there. All right. Now, let's move with this. Okay. So let's do a couple of times before, a couple of times after, and then here's the thing. If you don't go before, I'm obviously going to swing. I'm going to rear back and swing, no matter what. You either get me before I swing, or you get me after I swing. All right? So, move a little closer to the center. Here, nice. Get my ball and chain ready. I kind of came down 45 and it eluded you just barely, but I mean, yeah, you know, whatever. Good. Start moving back. Forward. Ooh, got a little too close that time, right? Here, hands are up. Don't do anything. Yep. Just checking the distance. It's like I know how to tie this thing for it to work out, right? So, okay. Even though you were scared, it was good. Good.
I think I got a little close.
It's all right. You weren't facing the camera. Only I saw it. Right? But here's the thing. You know, and I'm using his terms on some of this stuff. But Chris Burns, yeah, taught seminar here. He's come back in a few months. Good friend of mine. He calls these flinch drills. You know what question almost every fighter I've ever had is asked me? And if they just train and spar long enough, they'll ask, hey, how do I not flinch when somebody's I think they're gonna hit me? Because they don't always hit you, and you learn that lesson. And you're like, oh man, I flinched and nothing happened. Like, what if something would have happened? To get you thinking critically about it, right? So there's ways that we can overcome that, but just doing these types of drills where it's like, and just staying with them. Oh yeah, if somebody's swinging at me, I know not to overreact. I know not to underreact. I'm conditioned to where I can keep my eyes on the threat, the danger, you know. So it's a cool little drill. Flinch drills, ball and chain drill. When I do it like that, oh, you don't want to hit you, right? So I'm trying to get you to flinch. So they don't think it's a deficiency. It's by design, right? It's just a fun little game. Okay, so let's go over some ways to defend against the overhand. First, let's just like how we are right here, right? I'm kind of in your face a little bit, and remember, if there's some different guards. Like here is, I'm determining what's going on. I think there may be a threat. Here, knuckles at the eye line, right there, but not blocking my view. Here, a triangle with my, it's like a sight, right? When I look at your whole face here, your nose, everything. So I'm here, right? Now, if you do an overhand, what we have to have, put your hands on my chest and push, is forward distribution of weight. Now, not too much. It's not going to be like this, all right? Just so. Weight's in the balls of my feet. If you let go pushing, weight's still in the balls of my feet, but not too much, right? So just think about weight distribution, because you don't want that overhand to knock you sideways or backwards, okay? You're coming with the overhand, here. See it? My weight's forward and you can feel it, okay? Now, if you come with that side, here, same thing, boom. And I can step in either side, or I can stay square stance and lean. I can do this if I was totally prepared and I was able to get my base, obviously. And if odds say but their backhand may be the one they throw. Even though I was at a table of 10 people and 3 of them were left-handed, myself included, over the weekend, most people say it's 90% of people are right-handed. Okay, so what if it's a left-handed person? So, but most of the time it's here, and then if they're really overcommitted, they'll step, and that's some of the new stuff we'll see today. Okay, so I'm just gonna come with haymakers, slaps, sucker punches, however you want to think about them. If you're here in just a neutral stance, slide forward just a tad. Yes. Yes, good. Nice. Very good. Okay, so that's basically just blocking. Now, let's think about cover blocking. This is a little closer range, like somebody's really in your face and they want to throw that punch, but they're super close to you. That becomes more of in boxing what we would call a hook. We'll just call it a round punch because it comes around like our round kick. Okay, so when this happens, we're gonna cover block. Okay, so hands are here, cover block. Okay, cover block. Good. Now, once we cover block, we can come back with a vertical elbow. So upward with this one, like here. Yeah, so we can come back with a vertical elbow. Nice. Hands are here. Do that same side again. Cover block, elbow. Cover block, elbow. Cover block, elbow. Yeah, see if that one blocks as it comes back down. This one could be blocking, but I'm striking with it. If they're throwing 2 hooks, it's gonna block, but I'm gonna get you right up under the chin. Because that's the thing. Like if you were trying to throw a hook, boop, straight line's faster. Inside position's better. That's what we were saying on clinches. Okay, so that's when we cover block, elbow. That elbow could be another cover block. Hands up. Here, elbow, nice. Here, elbow, very good. Simple, okay? So we got the forearm block, we got the cover block to the elbow. Let's do this, let's go cover block, elbow, clinch. Okay, so go cover block, elbow, and then clinch, nice. There you go. Cover block, elbow, and then, yes, roll it under like we were talking about earlier. Cover block, elbow, clinch, good. Cover block, elbow, clinch. Nice, good job. Okay. So, some really good options there, right? Now, let's work on level changing, going underneath it. We need to be able to block it, but there's a saying in boxing, in kickboxing MMA, if you're blocking, you're losing. We will block, hit, clinch, right? Sometimes the strike is gonna happen and you see some, like the forearm block, so like a little further distance, you're getting closer to me. When you're closer to me, I'm definitely clinching you, right? But then there's also like, I was able to just evade it, to use head movement and body movement to get out of the way, okay? So with that, give me this overhand, just like that, overhand. Give me this one. So I'm just stepping, going under, and because my hair was long for so long, it stands up right here. I felt your arm do that on the underside of your gi sleeve, right? Which is good timing for me. If I go way far down, it's time to come back up. Time going down and time. So I want to just go right as low as I have to, okay? If I go too low, you might also be able to drop weight down on me, okay? So when this, if I'm square stance, I step. If I'm already 4-point stance, I step, okay? Go here, other side. And see how I'm grabbing that hip bone? And I secure the rear clinch, okay? So let's just weave under, start with square stance. Weave under and clinch. Good. Good. Instead of this happening, this will be the one we do next, okay? That happens more so after we block. Step here, okay? But don't turn. Watch here. Give me this. See, look how I'm already there. Then I step with that foot. again. Okay, so look, I'll step with this foot. You go here, 1, 2. Okay. Yes, beautiful, good. And that other one's really good, right? We're gonna do that one in 2 seconds. That one, see? That'll happen. It'll happen. Good. Get it again. That's all right. That's all right. Now I'm trying to turn it up on you a little bit with the intensity and the timing of like, hey, I know it's like, oh, I gotta go again. React. That's what we're trying to train, right? Like if we had to get in a street fight, it would just be like, oh, Steve's coming. I was like, well, wasn't ready for that. Like it will be that way. So we train that way, okay? And that's kind of the escalation of this drill is you stay there, whatever stance you want. If you want to be here, that's fine. Yes. See, it, like when I miss, I lunge over like this. Get back in the middle. Yes, good. Back in the middle. Yes. Nice. Okay. Now, as we saw, let's look at this one both ways because it was occurring naturally. And here's the thing: we either step one foot or the other. You know, each had their context, both effective, okay? But with this, it's usually, I usually do the one that we were confusing it 2 or 3 times off the block, okay? So if you throw the overhand, boom, right? And then you're like, oh, I wanted to punch this guy, but I can't. Then you start trying to grab my head and get your hands together. Like, that, either way's fine. Boom. And I go around. Let's say you tried to grab that way. Oh. So I just use those elbows to evade. Okay, so we'll do it off the block and we'll do it off of, you know, hey, you just kind of step the opposite way and that's fine. Those are the 2 main ways to step. Okay, so here, boom. See how I'm trying to do that? Right, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna collapse. So you gotta, if you stay there, it'll start getting weird, right? I will start collapsing maybe. You gotta move around it, okay? So here, yes, exactly. Yes. Okay, so let's say you were trying to step in for side clinch and I swung at you, which is kind of what you're doing over here, right? Like I was coming here and you were stepping like this. Yeah. Okay? Same thing here, but that protects here. Now walk around. Boom. Okay, so there. Yes. Again, we'll do this side. You did the block and you went right to the back. That's okay. Good, that's fine. Again, earlier, that was not the mistake. It's not a mistake if it's a real thing. You just did something else. Both of those are good. Today I was just going to more overview from the block, but it works from, how many lessons have we done on, hey, you put me in side clinch, here we go. Yeah. Yes, and then I start doing, I taught a whole seminar on it this past weekend, right? Like the whole first block of it was somebody is grabbing your head from the side. You have a side clinch on them and they're grabbing your head. People are going to do it. They're going to do it on the ground, standing up. They're going to do it after they failed to be able to punch you. They magically turn into a jiu-jitsu person, right? So, just some context there. That's the ways to block and evade the haymaker, the overhand punch. Okay, and again, that kind of is paired a little bit with hooks. If we're in the phone booth together in a confined space, right? Like a little hallway. I'm in places like that all the time, right? You know, you might go, there's a great place to get some food, downtown Little Rock, Dugan's Pub, free commercial, right? And sometimes I'll go train a little rough, and I'll go eat there on my way down. And then you got to go down this kind of little tiny hallway to the bathroom, and then you're sitting out in the patio. There's a little tiny hallway, and then sometimes there's belligerent drunk people there who have a problem with you being in the tiny hallway at the same time as them. Stupid stuff like that, right? Usually drugs or alcohol involved. But we go places and we see people all the time that drugs and alcohol are involved. And a lot of times we don't even know it. But in an environment like that, we know. So just, that's awareness. I use these metaphors and things just as little situations for you to look at and be like, okay, that's how I can remember that and apply that to some situation in my life, like in heightening my awareness. Everybody talks about awareness, but how aware are you when you go out somewhere that somebody, like, hey, you're sitting right there at Dugan's Pub at the bar, eating your club sandwich. How's your awareness, right? There's a little area over here, your back's either to the door or it's to your left side, right? And it's like thinking about things where it's like, do I have an injury? If I need to react quickly, what would I do? And it's just, the more you do, I'm trained every day, so everything I do kind of becomes thinking about things over there, right? So it's almost a mind game. It's fun. So next, we'll haul our faithful and royal crash pad out, and we'll do some throwing techniques. All right. What's up, everyone? We've got a crash pad out. This new class prop. We use this in the classes sometime, and it's when we're doing some of the bigger throws, like the Seyanagi, right, or the hip throw, the shoulder throw, and the ogoshi, the hip throw. Today we're going to introduce a new throw. It's called kokinagi, right? And it's a throw. It's a Japanese throw. You see it in different martial arts, and it's also very similar to another throw called tsukanagi, which means scoop, right? So, and I like to look at the variations of the throw. What makes this special is that I am intercepting somebody. A lot of people call this a gravity throw. I'm intercepting your momentum and using your momentum against you, okay? So, kokinagi. Then we've seen outside leg throw from a couple of perspectives. That's osoto. We'll look at that as well, and then we'll look at our hip throw. And all of this is from the lens of Haymaker defense. Okay, so it's what we've been reviewing here recently. So we're just going to use that. And we could do these other ways as well. We've seen some of these throws other ways throughout the program. Okay, but we're here and we're thinking about overhand. We'll start with the outside leg throw. I'll do outside leg throw. I'll do ogoshi. You have the best command of those two. And then I'll show kokinagi, and then we'll walk you through all three of them, okay? Kokinagi is going to be done with like walking momentum, or like somebody's, I've talked about this in other classes. I've seen somebody walk across the cage and go, wow, and knock a dude out I knew, right? And like we still talk about it. Like, remember when that redneck guy did that? We're not calling him redneck, like the name of the gym was Redneck Fight Club, okay? Right? It's not like I'm like personally attacking him. That was the name of the gym he trained at, okay? And they were tough as nails. So, and they do crazy stuff like that, and it will work, right? Just like you almost can't teach that. It's like, but here's a great way. I mean, here's self-defense, simulated against it, okay? And this is stuff that, like, man, we probably should have been in the fight training for that guy, Anyway, so we'll go over those and we'll walk you through them as well. Okay, so from here, if you go with this overhand strike, and I block here or cover block, I can do this from either one. Go again, cover block. When I come over, look how I'm transferring weight to this leg. Now I'm going to come down and I can throw. Okay? A little awkward getting up like that. All right? So go ahead and throw your strike, I cover block, and then I sink down over it. Do this side. Okay? Cover block, and then look here. Okay? Now, this hand is going underneath. Okay? Sometimes we can put this here and still throw. Okay? If it goes around to my back, I throw him with the over the shoulder Seyanagi throw we saw in a recent class. Okay, so here, all this weight, I come in, and there's the throw. Okay? This side, here. This side, boom. All right. Now, the ogoshi, swap me places. The hip throw. Ogoshi just means major hip throw in Japanese. Jiu-jitsu, Japanese words. Okay? So, with this, when you were striking, I was attacking on the side you were striking on. Here I'm gonna be zoning away. Okay, so give me this overhand out here. I collapse, I come in, right? Step in front. Again, here. Okay, look, hook here. If he ever tries to pull this back, he's telling me which throw to go with. The first one we did. So they're linked in this way. Okay? He comes overhand, boom. So right when I blocked and I hooked, if he pulls at that point, we're going here. Otherwise, I'm going around here. Okay? Sometimes we've seen in the previous class, the person we did on the hip throw, he steps behind. Yes. That's the ogoshi from the overhand defense. Okay, we've seen that in previous class. That's 2 classes ago, right? Class 22, that's what we did. It's just literally reviewing, throwing it in here into the mix, okay? Now, let's take a look at the kokinagi. This is the exotic throw of the day. And really, one of the more exotic ones in the whole course. What I love about what you see with a lot of the self-defense techniques is because judo became so highly stylized for Olympic sport. A lot of those techniques you don't meet very many people that know them. They've fallen into disuse because you can't do them in the tournament anymore. It happens. And some of those techniques stay over in jiu-jitsu as it evolved out of Brazil. So it's very interesting in that regard. Now, this is one of those techniques. Kokinagi is an Aikido term, right? Tsukunagi is the judo term. And we're just calling it a gravity throw, right? It's what Hickson Gracie calls it. I've heard other people call it that. It's a gravity throw. So how do we do this gravity throw? Well, somebody's walking towards you. So I'm gonna stimulate real quick. And we were doing this on some overhand defense earlier, but it's gonna be, and we're just gonna do the dominant side. But it's gonna be, they're walking forward, and I think this will work out about right where, oh, yes, okay? Now fit into me, yeah, yes. See when you did that, how I went like this. So you gotta get down but not bend over. And you've gotta get down and fit your hip in. So they can kind of keep going over your back a little bit, but you can't bend over like this. It is very akin, grab me from the back. Okay, put a leg in the center so I can float around. Put one leg in the center. It's like this. See how that's hyperextending your knee, right? Boom. It is akin to that base here. I'm in a good enough position that you're not gonna put all your weight on my back and make me bend forward or injure my back or hamstrings. It's not gonna be that, okay? You can do, the highest level is doing this without touching the legs. Touching the legs is fine. That's the more the judo method, right? There'll be times when we're here. That's the same thing, different context. So, let's look at it from the overhand, and as the person walks in, we're going to throw, okay? I'll go first, and then we'll just we'll get you on this one, and then we'll review the other two also, okay? So, check our distance on walking there, make sure you're pretty close. Start with the other foot forward first. And then step and swing there. Boom, yes, right? Start with that other foot forward first and slide back up to it. That's about where I was at, okay? Here, this. Now, that's the fitting. That's my base. I'm mobile, right? I'm gonna use my elbow a little bit as I connect and lift my hips. Just like that. And again, it's a momentum throw. Doing it from pause like that, it lessens it. It lessens the understanding of it and everything. But it's just one of those, you have to teach it in some segments to get people like, hey, no matter what, I need you to keep walking and swinging at me, right? And that's kind of the idea. Like if I miss the fit in entirely, then we can reset. But that's kind of, you get the distance down, pick your side that's like, okay, 90% of people are going to be right-handed, swing at me that one at me with that one first. Go back. Come on.
Good.
Okay, your turn. Don't fall on me like when we were doing this last time. It happens. You just think you're an Olympic level judoka if you accidentally go down.
Okay.
All right? Let me check my distance. Hey, oh, this is good. Look, stay there. Step over the mountain. Yes. If you're gonna follow me, reverse Kess is the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Here's a side, and while we got this crash pad out, luckily for you, that one I just talked about here, boom. I'll get here, and then sometimes I can't lift the person. Maybe they're Joel. Watch, grab. And that's where you ended up. So like literally, I teach this in this class later. The last time we go through back control, we'll see that. Okay? I got to learn that for the first time from my friend Jack, and I already knew Sukanagi, but I hadn't seen it from there. Okay? So nice. Yeah, punch me in the face while you're done. That was pretty. I thought you were gonna Mr. Miyagi, dude. You're like, that. You know. Oh my face. Oh, dude, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Good job. Okay. Now, solo. Make sure I'll be here for us. So you cover block and sag all that weight down. We talked about this in several of the classes, right? No elbow on this one, just go straight into it. Here, boom. So cover, and then over as you come in. Cover. Good. So, hook, boom. Like that. As you come in. See how all your weight is here, so all I have to do is that. Think about, I like the knee drops if they're on people. So think you were simulating that. But then too, like think awareness. It's 108 degrees. It's August. We're in Arkansas or Florida. The only other place that's like arguably hotter to me than here. And it's like, if you hear on the news, like don't take your dog walking without dog shoes. They'll burn their paws off. Like it's that, like it's cooking eggs on the road, melting shoes. You don't want to go down. I'll throw you down there. I'll drop you on that. I'm not going down there. It's awareness, right? So, but just think, like sometimes I'm not too worried about that. I'm gonna be concrete, but maybe got some carpet and the padding over the top of it. I'll drop my knee right in your solar plexus or on your face, you know, before we see what's next. But also think, wherever you're at, mall, whatever, do they have friends? If I commit to grappling, is somebody gonna come up and start punching me in the back of the head? So that's that awareness conversation again. Okay, a little closer. Much better. Good. I'll go. So block it and zone to the side clinch. So Soto was over under clinch. The Kokinagi, just haymaker defense. Like you're just evading. There's no clinch involved. You're passing through. This, block and go away from the strap, not into it. Osoto, you went into it. Block, go away. Step in front. Take a good one. Good spring with your hip. Yes. Hey, you should be that good at that one. That's the one you probably have the most on, right? And we do that one all the time. And here's the thing. I got my shoulder broken with a hip throw one time, my collarbone. That's why I do it all the time too. I'm like, you know, at the time that happened to me, it was somebody they weren't a good training partner. They threw me poorly. They didn't know judo either. But how can I ensure that doesn't happen to you? It might be a fluke thing that happens, but you know what? Your education's gonna be so high on this, you wouldn't let somebody throw you that way. You know what I'm saying? Like you can pass on to them. The deficiency, the problem, is when the academy doesn't do the hip throw. Because the hip throw exists. You see it in competitions, you see it in judo, jiu-jitsu, MMA, it exists. I saw Frank Mir throw Big Country Nelson in UFC with Hirai Goshi. The Big Country is so big. That's why it's big as a country. That's that one. It's a 300-pound man. And he cut down a little bit at that time. These are heavyweights. They were at the top of the weight class, right? That's a hip technique where I use my leg. Still classified as a hip technique in judo. So, you know, that's, you gotta have people educated on it. If you're not good at the hip technique, you might know something about that, you might get it, but if the hip technique leads into understanding that next one in a more complete way. I might like the second one, with the leg, but it comes off the hip. It's like when the hip doesn't work, I may have to add that. I may have to go from 0 to 1. The hip throw 0, hip throw with the leg's 1. All right, and the hip throw with my leg here is 2, etc. All right, so that's our throws. We did kokenagi, a gravity throw. We did osoto, outside leg throw. Osoto just means outside, okay? And then we did ogoshi, the major hip throw. That's a literal translation. It's just, we always call it the basic hip throw. It's number 1, right? Okay, so that's that for today on those techniques. We'll be back with some escapes from side control to finish up the class.